Okay, so it's been 3 hours and I've let it soak for quite a while, so we're just going to dry them off and see how it's going. They may need longer, don't worry if they do. Um, these are very mold, the molds do require a lot of release agents, so don't worry if you have a particularly greasy model. And you can always put it back in again and leave it to soak for a bit longer. My one's looking okay so far. You see where it's gone a lot more crisp now. Still some places to remove some mold lines, but on the whole it's looking a lot better than it did before. It's kind of like the bigger reveal in a way, because it's usually what your model will actually look like finished, in the sense that this is after preparation, so these are what the pieces almost are meant to look like, if that makes any sense, without their weird breaks and mold lines and stuff. So this is the first cowling done. Definitely a lot more neat than it was before. Still some things to do. Not entirely perfect, especially in the arches there, but it's a lot better than it was before. Just gonna leave that to dry down there. Next is the housing. Like I said, if you notice any grease, just put it back in again, but this is looking fine so far. One thing I would say is that when you are doing this, make sure it's not in like a place of electronics and stuff, because it's going to go everywhere. So make sure it's in a place you don't mind getting covered in either grease or water or both. Like, look at that, I missed those two parts there. I definitely need to go back and redo those parts. I probably won't wash it twice, but I do need to go back and make sure those parts are sorted out, especially since it's a connection point, so it will actually interfere with some of the connections. You can see here where there's a lot less shine because a lot of the grease is gone now. Not all of it, but it doesn't have to be all gone in my opinion. So if I was recommending to you guys, I'd definitely say remove all grease, but for me personally, I don't see the need. Although people will. Yeah, that's the cow's name. There's a second cowling. Much like the first, there's still some issues like there and stuff, but I'm going to fix that later on, so it's not a huge issue. I just hope I have enough towels for this. It's really nice dedicating an entire day to one model. It feels really productive, I guess, even though it's the least productive thing in the whole world. But that's much smoother, in my opinion, than it was before, even if there are some issues like there. I'm really happy with the grease removal too. Hopefully those cowlings aren't too hard to heat treat back into place again. I'll definitely show that process so you guys know what to do, because it is something that requires a bit of skill rather than just following along. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm very tired right now because I spent my whole day filing away, sweating over a single model. It's been fun though, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. Why I didn't say this before, but the reason I chose the Melta loadout was because I liked how it looked on the, if you go to the store, the Games Workshop store, they have a Chaos Reaver Titan, which is what I'm aiming to look like. And their loadout was very nice, I thought, and it was very chaotic, having close combat melting weapons and claws, so I'm going for a similar look to my one. So that's why I chose a Melta cannon. rather than, because I know in game terms there's much better options, particularly the laser destructor is apparently very, very good. Or sorry, turbo laser, I think, destructor. Apparently that's supposed to be amazing, but I didn't like the look of it. I thought it was pretty ugly, to be honest, so I haven't chosen them. I'm sure they're great though, I just don't like them. I think they're really hideous. Whereas I love the claws, I think they look amazing. I'll put all of these things on screen as well so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm really happy with some of these models. They're really turning out nice. The areas where there were issues have been resolved now, mostly. Very clean in my opinion. And yeah, next I'll be building it as well. I always say that you shouldn't magnetize until you fully build a model, unless there's things covering that. Like, if there's an enclosed space within a model you need to magnetize, definitely do that first. But I like to actually see the whole model first and also know the weight of it in my hand so I can judge how strong the magnets need to be, rather than just guessing and then getting it wrong and being sad. So we're done now. Move this to one side. So now I'm just going to let these things dry off, then I'll show you what I'll do next. The next stage I'm not going to show you guys, it's not really worth showing. It's basically just the same thing I just did, but you want to give them a water bath. And the reason you want to give them a water bath now is because although I've dried them off, these things still have soap on them, and that I'm fairly sure will stop the primer from sticking and also the glue from working properly. So you want to wash them more thoroughly than I just did then as well in water to make sure that all the soap's gone now as well. That will also help remove any residue of grease. So I'm just going to go and get a wash these things off in cold water. I'll be right back.